I don't know if we can get them. You know that? I got too much sun there.
You guys waiting for something?
Oh, there he is.
Testing. Can you, hello, testing.
Plug it in. I can't see all of you. What a return home almost.
Here.
Oh, it was great having a home down here in Laguna, Orange County. And it's great to come back and see so many friends and new friends. And I'm just happy to have somebody here to ask me questions. It's my stepdaughter, but you're much more than that. She's my manager and daughter of my glorious wife, who's packing for our trip tomorrow to go to London and Rome, and then come back and tell the committee what I think we need to do with our space program. And I would really like to say just keep doing what you're doing, but I have a feeling we need to make a few changes and reorient ourselves toward some really productive things that are inspiring and not doing things that we've done before. But
Do you think we'll ever reach a magnificent desolation again, the way you reached it back then?
those are interesting words, magnificent desolation. Wonder where they came from. Well, they sort of just popped into mind. Why? Why would I say something like that? Well, it wasn't beautiful really there, even though I guess I said something like that. But then I thought twice, and the achievements of humankind, creatures from the earth, to grovel around and band together in villages, learn how to cultivate things, rub two sticks together, get a fire, learn what a wheel is, get an automobile, horse and buggy, airplanes, rockets, spacecraft, and travel to that thing up in the sky that people have been looking at for centuries and centuries and centuries. What a testimony to the achievement of the human race to be able to do something like that. How magnificent it was to be a part of that. And yet, as I looked out on this very desolate spot, just all shades of gray and a black sky, velvet, sort of illuminated a little, but it was still black by the brilliant sun behind us, and that little jewel of a planet up there, almost straight up, but no air, no sign of life, and it was just so evident that it had been that way for millions of years before we got there. Magnificent desolation. Well, it turned out, in a way, to be sort of a metaphor of my life, to participate in that magnificence and then to see things gradually come apart. When I left the space program, went back to the Air Force, it wasn't really what I had hoped for at the Air Force Academy, but not having been trained as a test pilot, the Air Force assigned me to be commander of the test pilot school. Well, that wasn't exactly the career path I was really looking for. And so I began to get a little discouraged and felt sort of lost as to what to do next. I began suffering a little from lack of attention and depression. And I knew that that was in the family somehow. decided to describe that in an autobiography, and that got me involved in the Mental Health Association, and after a while I was chairman of mental health, and then they decided to make a movie of the week out of that Return to Earth autobiography. And so they picked good old Jed Cliff Robertson to play my part. I mean, he came down to see what I was all about. But I was in alcoholism recovery when he came to visit me. The first of quite a few. And that, I think, was inherited too. When you've led such a structured life that at just a little over 17, you go to a military academy and you really learn what discipline, duty, honor, country is all about. Then in the Air Force and in combat in Korea. And from there, several other assignments on alert with nuclear weapon on the wing of your airplane. Then you go to get more education, and you're working away on a doctor's degree trying to figure out what you ought to really be doing. So I decided to write a thesis on intercepting, not airplanes in the air, but spacecraft in the sky, in orbit. And that got me into the space program, and that's very structured also, rather competitive, you might say, in a quiet way. We're friendly, but we're also looking for the best job we could get amongst the cream of the crop that are in the NASA program. And then I get involved in one mission and then another mission, and it's such a structured life. Return back to the Air Force and try to catch up for being away for 11 years, and that just doesn't work out. And now I'm on my own, just left up to my own devices. And that's discouraging. So anyway, but out of all of that, gradual progress is made.
But how did you have this passion for space? How did you get that back after sinking so low? What was it that brought you back up to this enduring passion to share space?
Well, it turned out I wasn't very good selling cars in Beverly Hills. But I did know a little bit about maybe going back to the moon, or thinking about making rockets reusable. Banded together with another bunch of engineers, started figuring out maybe a better strategy of getting to Mars, gradually getting healthier and healthier and optimistic. And then I run into her mother.
Yeah, wasn't there this other rocket fuel that kind of came to boost up your life?
Love. Love is what spurs people on. And Lois and I have been together, married for over 20 years now, and we really complement each other. Many of you may have known Lois, the platinum-haired Mighty Mouse of Laguna Beach, Emerald Bay. Anyway, we really complement each other. She goes to a lot of social functions that I would never think of going to. And I get along, kind of watch